Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
All right, you ready for it?
Hello and welcome.
I'm ready for it. It's June 18th, and the topic for today is prepared and active.
Prepare and active?
Prepared and active.
And active, okay.
Like, I am prepared and I am active.
Very cool.
Okay. Seneca says, "Let fate find us prepared and active."
Mm-hmm.
I love that so far. Here is the great soul, the one who surrenders to fate. The opposite is the weak and degenerate one who struggles with and has a poor regard for the order of the world and seeks to correct the faults of the gods rather than their own.
Yeah. So like a lot of opinions about how things should be, how people should be. I'll fix your stuff for you. This is how you should be doing it. Yeah.
This is how life is unfair.
This is how life is unfair. Yeah,
this is how life has mistreated me.
So that's more of towards myself, right? Like there's two, right? There's the outward, like I am complaining about how everyone is doing something. That's one of complaining about God, right? And then there's the internal one of like I am the bad or
or I mean,
or I am the
or
good.
there's that too, but then there's like the third one of like, why did God do this to me?
Sure.
And so like there's like, and all of those would be a way of blaming the gods or asking gods to change how reality is unveiling so that it is like more convenient for me to just, so that I don't have to do the hard thing and change.
Yeah.
If only I could just be however I wanted to be and the world would just adapt around me so that I was continuously comfortable and I had everything I ever hoped and dreamed for. Like, duh. But yeah, that's not reality. Black and white as a fact. So I should not be acting
we
that
can
way.
seek comfort, but that does not mean the comfort will be found.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And then it says, I love the first sentence. Let fate find us prepared and active. Yeah. So prepared, like I know what I'm trying to achieve. I know what sense of purpose I have in my life. I'm working, I have the discipline, I'm working on that, I'm prepared for this, and I'm active. I'm in a state of moving forward. I'm not waiting for fate to show up and like, well, I'll get up off my ass when the opportunity shows up at my door.
Your yoga thing is, that's what this is, you know, like you have goals that you set for yourself and then you're working on those goals. And now you're in this place where you are ready and active and with this. So now you're not holding on to, I'm not seeing you holding on to some fortune that needs to come to you. You're just like, no, it's about this work. It's about being ready. Let's go keep doing it. And all of a sudden something might come and just slaps you in the face in a good way. Right?
And I think I'm getting just like this amount of that, but it is like, it's more than it was.
Yes.
The results are way better than they were like a few years ago.
Prepared
and
active.
A few years ago, I may have been obsessing over outcomes and results, and then because I'm obsessing over those results and outcomes, I'm not putting myself in a position to be prepared and active, so I'm not ready for fate. So it's like this continual like just cycle of disappointment, you know, endless like disappointment and what felt like failure, just like failure over and over again. And like, I don't know, maybe something in the last year or two, I've maybe even with the help of stuff like the Stoic stuff, has like really allowed me to let go of like the outcome and just be like, nope, that's not my job. Like my job is not to obsess over the end result. My job is to be prepared and active.
So it's interesting because there's that saying, we were talking about it a few days back or something, about when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? But that just says when the student is ready. I think it's like when the student is ready and active, teacher will appear. Because a lot of times we think we're here and we're thinking about it and we're getting ready mentally for something, but we're not doing it yet. We're saying, if I'm going to be prepared for what comes, I'm here in my head. I'm going, okay. When they come knock on my door and say, hey, Ali, are you ready to go record an album with this, leading...
Joe Satriani.
Joe Satriani. I'll be like, yeah, I'm ready. But am I active also? Am I like ready, and am I producing my own stuff and I'm doing my own stuff like as much as I am dreaming about be prepared for when Joe Satriani knocks on my door? No, like the active is I'm doing something. So Joe Satriani says, oh wow, there's this guy. Oh wow, he does this. Wow. Oh, now I go knock on his door. So the active is really cool because the understanding of just being ready and then chance will come. That's a fortune. That's another saying with a fortune, right? Like if you fortune rewards the ready or the prepared.
Fortune favors the brave.
Brave or prepared or something like that.
I mean, brave you could say is active, because brave
would be more active.
I am stepping into a place where I do not feel ready for it, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm doing this really hard, difficult thing. And yeah, I think there's this interesting thing that you're kind of pointing at, which is that you can be so focused on the preparation that the action never happens, because and this has happened to me too, like where I would be like, well, I'm not prepared enough.
Because you're thinking you're actioning by learning and getting prepared, like that's already an action.
Or I feel like I need to get my preparation up to a certain level before I'm ready to be active. And like, for example, with this yoga thing, this is why, in my opinion, it was so critical for me to get a marketing coach, because she was like, stop preparing, and you're gonna do this action, and I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be here with you, because it's gonna be uncomfortable as fuck, and you're gonna learn a ton about yourself and fall on your face and all of this kind of stuff. But like, you need to start moving with the information you have in your head right now. And it's not as much information as you would like. Yeah,
because you then say, I'm not ready.
This is what I was saying. I was saying, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready, right? And so you say, well, I'm supposed to be ready. And that's when the fortune and all this good stuff happens. So I need to be focusing on getting ready. And am I ready? I'm not ready. So I'm not actioning. I'm only getting ready. So, and then you say, getting ready? Oh my God, look how hard it is to get ready for something. I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm reading. So I'm actioning. But we're not actioning that thing that we're learning here in the world.
Right.
We need to flip that switch. My mom, same thing with her English. She's getting ready. She's studying English every day. So she's ready for when there's going to be an opportunity to speak. But she's not actioning the speaking. Therefore, the opportunities to speak are very far in between, because people say, hey, how you doing? And she's like, I'm great. It's harder for her. So now we cannot have a full-blown open conversation, because she thinks she's not ready yet. But she's so ready. She just needs to start acting.
Yeah.
Ready, acting.
Yeah.
Both.
And the thing is, I think like being ready is actually, we need a lot less than we think we do to start the action.
We think we need so much.
But we don't need
that much.
And we think we need so much because we don't want to fail.
We don't want to fail.
Start acting, and now I'm failing. And it's like...
So it's a fear of failure, and that's why I'm stuck in the getting ready.
Yeah.
Caramba.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That hits home for sure.
Yeah. And this is like when Cass, like my marketing person, is like, okay, you're going to run this posture challenge. I'm like... Like, I can't run a posture challenge. I'm not ready. Like, I don't have enough information. It's like, no, you know enough to help some people from where they are move forward to here. You'll learn what's working for them. You'll learn what's not working for them. You'll learn what your gaps of knowledge are and where you need to go learn more. And you'll fill that in, and there will be time for that as you go through this learning thing. And it was just like, now that I'm 2 weeks into the challenge, I'm so happy that I did it. But you have been living with me for like the last 10 years. So like when I was getting ready to do this, there was like a couple of meltdowns of like,
As a couple?
For this specific thing, not in the last 10 years. Yeah, in the last 10 years, there's been a plethora, let's say.
It's a dozen.
Okay, that's generous.
Like a baker's dozen.
An alien's dozen. We don't even know how many is in an alien's dozen.
All right.
Okay, you want to read Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he says, whatever happens today, let it find us prepared and active, ready for problems, ready for difficulties, ready for people to behave in disappointing or confusing ways, ready to accept and make it work for us. Let's not wish we could turn back time or remake the universe according to our preference, not when it would be far better and far easier to remake ourselves.
Yeah. The actioning, man, that hits home. I'm so like quiet right now and just like, because it like, there's something clicked in there. It's like, oh wow, like of course. This getting ready versus actioning and how full of fear that thing is.
Of taking the leap between preparation and action.
Yeah.
So much so that sometimes in the preparation, I will trick myself into thinking it's already action.
And it is a fear. It's fear based, and then a fear of what? Fear of that failure. Like that whole mechanism. It's like that's a problem.
It is, because failure is baked into the whole thing. And so if
failure is part of it, actually.
Yeah.
It's not, we cannot prep ourselves to avoid failure.
Yeah, there's no preparation that will help us avoid it. And
that is a hard thing to
learn when you were raised to not appreciate your mistakes, when you were raised to be ashamed of them, to hide them, to...
Yeah. And how did we learn all this? By our surroundings that was pointing out failures and saying, you are a bad person, you're terrible, we're gonna give you a bad grade because you failed at this thing. And it's just like, okay, so failing is bad, don't fail. Oh, who don't fail? The A students. They don't fail, they are all successful. Let's keep going like this. This is obnoxious concept of grading people, right? Because it creates this fear of failure, and then we are these zombies. We just go to work and.
But you know what? As an A student, there's perfectionism in A students, and the perfectionism is also a symptom of fear.
Of fear and of
failure.
Yeah.
Fear of failure.
So
we all have it, because failure is a very vulnerable thing, and like just in evolutionarily, failure could mean death. So it would make sense then that we would be seeking to avoid it. Dude. However, it's like if you look at any successful person, they fail more. I mean, it's like the master has failed more than the beginner has tried. Because the beginner gives up, because the beginner is like, well, I failed 6 times at this. And the master is like, yeah, you need to fail 600 times at this. Yeah. And the beginner's like, no, I can't take it. I failed 6 times. I'm like having a nervous breakdown.
It's too much, because I was told I only supposed to fail a couple times and then I'm supposed to know it. And if I don't know it, I'm dumb, stupid, rejected, out of society. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, we really need to build up our tolerance for it. Like that is the answer. Like I need to build up my tolerance for it so that it doesn't bother me and so that I actually take it as a learning. Like I need to reframe it as like, ooh, I get to learn something now. Something didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, which means that there's information I don't have that I need to sponge. Let me sponge that, not let me feel bad about myself and beat myself up and replay the thing 80 million times in my head and like call myself names and, you know, then and talk down to myself like, oh, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it.
So check this out from the, we were talking about football and stuff the other day and like defensing and offensing stuff, right? And it's like I keep thinking about how like when the offense scores, we are so excited. And when the offense doesn't score, like it didn't work out, they're kind of like this, oh, it's okay. Oh, like that, right? But if the defense defends, people are like, oh yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, that's good. Good job. There's no, oh my God, yay, right? But if the defense fails, everyone is sad. Everybody in this stupid stadium is like, oh, they score on us. Oh, we failed at it. Oh, we feel, why are we feeling bad? Because then if we don't feel bad, the game is dumb, is stupid, and there is no reason to even attend it, perhaps. Like, why are those failures, aka defensive failure is so, we all feel so bad.
Because we're also wrapped up in the outcome. We want our team to win. Or like, and in the case of failure, like...
we want something in the future that doesn't exist.
Like,
and if it's not happening, if it's not going that way, we are all bent out of shape for some reason. But why are we bent out of shape for, you know what I mean? Like... That seems silly.
Yeah, because we have the expectation.
Yeah. And I'm saying like there is a way of not to have that. You know, I have it as well, but I can see how there is a possibility of like not eliminating it, but like getting it into some place where you, like what you're saying, hey, failures, come on, give it to me, right? There's this statistic thing about like nine no's, right? You get 9 no's before you get a yes, right? It's not 3 or 4 or 6. No, it's 9. And so if you're on the 8th one and now the 8th no feels extremely defeating. The 9th no feels extremely defeating. But then statistically there has to be something after that it's not following the pattern of all these no's. So the pattern has to change. And so but that's might be after the 600th time of trying to do a light bulb or something, right? Like Edison or something, right? So it might take, you might have a little success and that's like, okay, then now I know the next throw and now I'm trying there. And now it's again takes 9 tries to get to something. Now 9 is just statistic number that people use for like, you know, in trading, let's say there's no like 9 straight days of market going down. There's always some bump up again somewhere, right? So statistically this kind of like system works, but in that statistic system you see that it takes 9 failures for 1 win.
Right. Or like there's all sorts of those different statistics, like it's like an entrepreneur succeeds on average on their like 4th or 5th venture.
Yeah. So and then people say this and you go like, oh, okay, so you just have to keep trying. Well, yeah, that's true, but you will go through 4 horrible failures throughout that day. You're like firing everybody who worked for you,
you never got it off the ground.
You never got it off the ground.
You couldn't get support for it.
All kinds of crazy failures.
Yeah, right. Crazy failures. And it's and for some reason, like I don't know if it's just me, but like there's sort of this sense when I wake up in the morning, oftentimes that like today was built for me to succeed, And so it's like, no, like today was actually probably built for me to fail a bunch and fall on my face. And I need to figure out how to reframe that.
I need to be ready and active
and then think however this is set up for the fact that actually life is designed as a learning thing for me. It's not designed for me to like achieve something or succeed in some way. Like it's showing me over and over again that the real purpose and like how I'm going to spend most of my time is just learning about, oh my gosh, this is how it actually is. This is how this whole thing actually is. And then my job is to like stop trying to like make all of this better for me so that I don't have to go through the failure and I don't have to do all of this, and instead to fortify myself and say my task is to figure out how I'm going to change, how I'm going to be a better defensive player here with this life, so that I can just like enjoy the process of it, because learning is fun too, you know. If I'm not thinking to myself that like it shouldn't be happening, it's really fun to learn.
You are already on your way, my beautiful baby.
Thank you. So are you.
Yeah. Good one. Wow. Yeah, these last couple of days are like loaded.
It's the problem-solving month. June is the problem-solving month. I love it. All right. For you at home, let's see. What's our question for today? Okay. Talk to us about how you feel you do with this whole preparation versus action situation. Do you find yourself getting stuck in the preparing phase because you're afraid of failure? Or do you feel like that's not really an issue for you? You just act all the time and you just are like, yay, failure. That would be cool to learn. All right. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow.